Diving back into the gripping world of They Both Die at the End with best-selling author Adam. His new book, The Survivor Wants to Die at the End, brings fresh emotion, suspense, and depth to the Deathcast universe.
Yes, and Adam joins us to talk about the story's powerful themes, how he connects with fans, and what's next for this blockbuster series. So welcome.
Yeah,
Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited and so honored to be chatting with you today.
Oh, we're glad to have you. So I have to start with what inspired the story for this new book?
Yeah, I mean, so I definitely am very open about this, and people know that, I've struggled with my own mental health in the past. And, in the Deathcast universe, we deal with an organization called Deathcast that can anticipate and predict when people are about to die, and they notify people ahead of time. And while they don't necessarily know how someone will die, they just know that today's the day and they're never wrong. And the previous two novels in this series, They Both Die at the End and The First to Die at the End, we follow different pairs of like star-crossed lovers as they grapple with Deathcast calls. But in the case of The Survivor Wants to Die at the End, it's actually about a boy who wants a Deathcast call because he is really just like fed up with life. It just like hasn't been going his way. And I thought that was something that was really important to explore.
Yeah, certainly. And you kind of alluded to this when you set the book up, but I'm curious, why was it important for you to include mental health themes in your writing?
Because I think there's always remained this stigma about mental health, and especially with like suicide ideation, and it's like so rampant within young people, right? I mean, with adults as well, and I care just as much about them as I do the young people and the young adults. And I remember feeling so alone with my thoughts and feeling like I was the only person in the world going through these feelings, right? And then I finally started communicating how I was feeling, after my debut novel 10 years ago, and I connected with how other people related to what I was going through. And it really was like, I was like, wow, I cannot believe that I discovered this at 25, right? And I don't want people growing up thinking that that's like exclusive to them or that they have a problem that can't be solved, right? So I was like, I want to just like begin that conversation way sooner.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Building community, I think that's so important.
Totally. Yeah. And speaking of community, so how has the book talk community impacted your writing?
I mean, it's been phenomenal. The first novel, They Both Die at the End, published in 2017, but in 2020, it went viral on TikTok, and it just brought a whole new, like millions of readers to the series. And I wouldn't say it's changed my writing in any way where I now feel this different kind of pressure. I think I always put a pressure on myself anyway to do the best book possible. So whether I have one reader or 1 million readers, I'm always going to do the best work that I can. But the way that they've embraced it has really just led to some really inspiring stories in my personal interaction with them or online interactions with them even, and just kind of like encouraged me to like keep the work going.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yes. So a decade on, you've been putting out books for a decade. You just said your first novel was published 10 years ago, and you've written several books, very prolific in that time. Yeah. What has all of that in the last 10 years taught you as an author?
I think I'm still learning what those lessons were. Honestly, I think it's hard to identify everything, but I mean, I'm really proud of like the work ethic that I have. I am so driven by story, and I have been since I was 11 years old. So in some ways it feels like, well, I've done 10 books in 10 years, but I'm like, but I've also been writing since I was 11, right? And I'm about to be 35 next month, and I'm like, oh God, I feel like I should have done more, And but I mean, I'm so grateful for these books because they've allowed me to kind of explore different aspects of myself and help me heal in a lot of ways as well. And this book especially was very, very healing for me.
Yeah, and I love what you said. I mean, obviously, I love that sentiment. You found healing in the book, but also that you're a lifelong learner, that you're continuing to learn even through this writing journey. It's very encouraging to folks who might be like, maybe I should try something new.
Absolutely.
Whatever. So
I love to
you're
hear
an example of that.
Absolutely. Okay. And
thank you. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say that I mean, I absolutely agree with that. And I think sometimes we send this message for young adults who are kind of like the primary demographic for these novels, that who you are as a teenager is who you're supposed to be for the rest of your life. And I always make it clear to people that you are not your grades, you are not your decisions right now. Like, you have so many opportunities to just grow and grow and grow. I'm going to be reinventing myself for the rest of my life. And I'm very excited about that. And I encourage others to do the same.
Yeah,
I love that.
Sure.
Absolutely. Okay, so when is the book out, and where can we get our hands on a copy?
The book is officially out this week. It is very exciting, so you can find it in bookstores everywhere.
Okay,
Awesome.
great. You see it right there, the title, The Survivor Wants to Die at the End. Adam, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Jason. Thank you, Mackenzie.
Yes,
Thank you so
absolutely.
much.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Another one to add to the summer reading list right there.
I know, right?
I know, yes.
I've got my list is growing.
Growing and growing and
Yes.
growing, yeah.